This thing that I have found is what I would call my gracious space. Hi folks, Jack Carlisle here with Gracious Spaces, and I need to let full disclosure, we're mixing it up this year. We're going rebranding, if you will. And so I'm going to first of all, we have an amazing guest. We'll get to him in a minute. But I'm going to introduce you to Annie Morgan. She has been in my life, God, Annie, for how long?
It's been a while.
Yeah, a while. Thank you for not aging me.
Oh, no. Well, remember, I'm your very older sister.
Work wife. I thought you were my work wife.
Work wife. Yeah. Yeah. You're what did they say? Robbing the cradle?
Oh.
No, I'm robbing the cradle.
I'm not that far off. So I appreciate that. But at any rate, we've missed being together.
Yes, we
have. So this is an opportunity for us to rekindle our marriage, our work marriage, so to speak.
That was so funny. You sent me that video when you gave me that napkin ring.
Yes, I proposed to you even back in the day.
Right, to be your co-host for life.
Yes, and here you are, see?
We went through a separation.
For better or for
but
worse.
We worked it out.
We did work it out.
A little counseling.
So Annie Morgan, folks, I hope you grow to love her just as much as I have. But
well, I'm really excited to be back.
Great.
And, I mean, I stalked you for a while to get you to understand.
Is that what you call it?
Yeah.
Stalked.
Yeah. To get you to understand that you had a talent that you refused to acknowledge. But you know what? I got you in front of that mic and it didn't take long.
Never to let me go.
And you just grabbed on. So yes, thank you for having me back.
Yes.
Thank you.
So I guess we can now say we are Gracious Spaces with Jack and Annie. So that sounds good.
Yeah.
And yeah, here we go. High atop the beautiful city of Orange. And our guest today, welcome, Mark. Enough about us.
We may veer off. You might have to pull us away.
I love the chemistry. You guys are naturals. And I know you guys have some previous experience with doing this, and I could see it right here in front.
Okay. Well, we appreciate the kindness. But Mark Flores, he has a passion for something that's very unique, and that's timepieces. It goes beyond that. We'll probably talk a little bit about that, but timepieces. So tell us, how, Mark, did you get involved in watches?
Well, just like anything, and I'm sure you guys can relate, maybe plants weren't always your thing.
Yeah.
It just sort of happens over time. You fall in love with a particular thing, you chase after that thing, and in that journey, on that road, you find something else.
Yeah.
And that's what happened with watches to me. Yeah. I started social media some years ago with car content in mind. Cars and watches go hand in hand, and that's where I fell in love with watches, to answer your question.
Yeah. I imagine that's such a unique niche, car people, but it makes sense that they also love watches.
Oh, yes.
Kind of goes hand in hand.
Oh, yeah. Especially people that, maybe like a flashy car, they're going to have a flashy watch. If they have a vintage car, they're going to have a vintage watch.
Yeah.
Just like a car tells about someone's personality, a watch does that as well without them opening up their mouth.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to get you in trouble here, but can you say you meet someone, they're like, hey, come look at my car. And then you're look in their car, and then you look at their watch, and then you're sizing them up. You've already put them in a little bit of a box, kind of their personality, what they're behind as far as what they like. Does that kind of happen often? Or?
You definitely get an idea of what they are with just seeing their car and their watch, especially watches. Because at the end of the day, like I mentioned, no one needs watches. But people love to purchase watches to kind of express what type of person they are.
Yeah.
So right away, I can kind of get a chance to see what someone's about with their watch.
That's why I didn't wear one today. I didn't watch it. I love watches too. I don't have as many as I like, but you like pocket watches, no?
Yes, but there's a reason I use pocket watches is because this is going to sound really funny, but I stop time. It's like when I wear a watch, I can only wear it. I don't even know how long before it will stop working. And
like literally, they
literally,
stop.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah, literally, they'll
that
stop working.
magnetic
see.
personality of yours.
Yeah.
You know it.
Yeah.
So with the pocket watch, you feel more
Yeah,
comfortable.
so I started
see.
using pocket watches, but I love pocket watches, and I would buy them at the antique stores.
Yep.
Because that's where you want to get a pocket watch. And back in the day, when I was all about fashion, before I was only in my chef clothes, I would have like a pants, like a pleated pants, and I'd wear pleated pants and put my pocket watch
With the
chain,
chain, yeah.
with the
Classic.
watch. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that. Yes, I mean, I would use a pocket watch now, even so. But yeah, I love a pocket watch. I think it's very chic.
Once a month, there's an antique market in Long Beach, and that's often where I do see these pocket watches. Do you guys notice the shift of everyone going towards things that are physical and charming and nostalgic, such as pocket watches, vintage watches? I think a day and age where everything is controlled by digital stuff, something that you can't even see, like maybe AI. Everyone's fallen in love with old school vinyl, vintage, classic comic books, and watches are at the very top of the list, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Well, it's like you were saying before we got started here. Everything is done through our phone. There's no real reason to go buy a watch, right? So it's got to connect with you as a person, or a feeling, a nostalgic. Grandpa comes to mind, grandma.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So how often, that's a great market, actually. It's the Long Beach Veterans Stadium.
Yes,
exactly.
exactly.
Yeah. So if you're in that LA, Orange County area, it's a great one. It's the third Sunday of every month, I think.
Exactly. I think now they changed it to the first Sunday, but yes, you are right on the dot. You know exactly which one I'm talking about.
So look that up if you're headed that way before you go. But it is a great market.
Oh, yeah.
So does that, I'm sure this is a silly question. I'm sure it gets you excited when you head out to that particular market. Do you have an idea of like what you want to find, what you're looking for?
You know what? I have personally not bitten the bullet and risked, my hard-earned money to buy something vintage, because I don't know how to take care of it properly, like a modern watch. What fascinates me and what gets me going is not how old the watch is. What gets me is the stories that watch could possibly tell.
Exactly.
Who knows what lifestyle that watch had before it ended up on my wrist?
Right.
Who knows what would have happened?
Do you ever go to estate sales?
Yes.
Because estate sales, there's a story. Every time, and it's a difficult thing, because when you walk into an estate sale, especially when you're like the Newport Beach homes that have been owned for like decades, generations, yes. And then I've gone to a couple in Newport Beach where you walk in the closet and the person that, usually if it's an estate sale, they've passed on, right? So it's usually the grandmother or the elder person that originally bought the home, right?
Yeah.
And so in this one closet were clothes from the 30s and the 40s. And I went to another one where there was a recipe box, and they had the recipe box in the kitchen with recipes in it. That just got to me. I walked out in tears because, there's stories in that recipe box, and my daughter was with me. And I said, oh my gosh, I said, this is their recipes. This is their heart, their soul, their stories, something that should get passed to within the generations of the family, right? But and so when you go to estate sales, it's so much more. So and like you said, everything that's that precious, watches and things in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And for me, it's always the kitchen because it's what I do, right? So
these are personal things.
Yes, exactly. And to walk into a closet and see these clothes from another time, that right there, it's like, oh my gosh.
Well, and then you go back to what you were saying. Watches are an occasion. You pick a watch out for a certain reason.
Yeah.
And they're right. The stories behind that, you do start to wonder, well, who gave them that watch, or why did they receive that watch?
So what have you got from, like, if you've gone to an estate selling, you've actually purchased something, what drew you to that?
What drew me to it is something that you don't even see every day. It's something that might have been useful back in the day and not of use today, whether it's certain kitchen equipment, artwork, the way it's painted, an old school way of painting with oils. Specifically watches, there's some watches that aren't made the same way they used to. For instance, your pocket watch, it's something that is not of use anymore to the everyday person because it was made popular for railroad stations to be on time. When I believe in the 20s, the early 20s of 1920s, wristwatches were seen as ladies' jewelry. It was not a manly thing at all.
Sort of dainty.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until Cartier commissioned a wristwatch for a pilot by the name of Dumont. He needed something that while he flies, can check on his wrist on the fly.
Oh.
So instead of taking out the pocket watch and, diverting from flying, that's where the wristwatch originated from for men.
Necessity.
For women.
But then it went into the zoot suit era.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Yes.
Where the zoot suit and the pocket watch, I love that.
It took some time.
Yeah, yeah. I love the conductor era, where they did just that. I mean, it's in all the movies where the settings are of that era.
Yeah.
But then, as time progressed and then the zoot suit came in, that was huge. That was so much a part of that outfit.
Well, you can even sort of trace watches by periods of time. Because Cartier being the first, I think I never knew that. That's incredible. What period was that? That
was in the early 1900s, 1915 and 1920.
Yeah. And then, so did Cartier, if you know, did he sort of say, oh, I'll have something here, I have an idea? Or did someone come in and say, hey, we can take his idea and make it even better or more popular?
Exactly, the second part.
Okay.
So Cartier was the one to originate it, and then Seiko later on,
Seiko.
a Japanese brand who's still around to this day, and so is Cartier, kind of popularized it, and every brand popularized it.
I didn't expect you to say Seiko. Rolex.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, Seiko.
Yeah.
And they have certainly weathered probably a lot in the industry.
Oh, yes.
And the technology, they've got watches all the way from traditional timepieces to technology.
Oh, yeah. What I love about Seiko is you could get into it at an early part of your collecting history and still get into it in your expert level of collectibility stage.
Yeah. So how many watches do you have?
I have five watches.
And what from where? From what timelines?
So my oldest one would be a 1987 Tag Heuer. It's a Formula One watch. If you're familiar with Tag, they are the sponsor of Formula One. And the reason I went for this particular model, it's a 1987 model. Tag Heuer was never Tag Heuer. It was always just Heuer.
Oh. Okay.
And then in 1987, they partnered with Tag to collaborate for Tag Heuer for Formula One. The watch case is not even stainless steel like what all watches would be. It's actually made out of fiberglass, which would be the material that the Formula One cars had at the time. It was a toy watch, I'll be honest, but it was made to compete with Swatch at the time.
Well, Swatch.
In the 80s, there was this thing called...
yeah. Everyone had a Swatch watch.
The quartz crisis is a thing back in the 80s and 70s. It's when mechanical watches were at risk of being obsolete because battery-operated watches were more accurate, easy to maintain.
Yeah.
So that's why I picked up that piece as more of a historical aspect.
And how fantastic is someone like Swatch swoops in, and they've changed the whole sort of what I'd call a casual watch scene. Everybody wanted a certain color, they wanted certain bands, you can switch and trade.
It was more fashion.
Fashion
focused.
Right.
Especially in the 80s and 90s, it was all full of color outfits.
Benetton.
Yeah.
Remember Benetton? Girls print. Wow. And Murano. So then that's your oldest watch.
Yes. And
walk us through.
I got a story from that watch. It actually happened to have been from an older gentleman that I met on the street. He was wearing it. I told him, is that a 87 Tag Heuer? And he was very surprised that I knew what it was about.
I think I would be too if someone...
I'm just... when you research
does that
things
with
a lot,
cars too.
It's like when you go elsewhere. You know what plants are at these restaurants, right?
True.
So that's just like me.
Okay.
He was very impressed and he said, I asked him, would you happen to be selling it? And he said, you know what? I never thought about it. I've had it since day one. It happened to have been a gift from my ex-wife at the time. I got it off the shelf. I even have the box. And then it passed to me as the second owner. And that's where I kind of go back. You never know what story the watch had.
Right.
That estate sale that you were mentioning, the recipes tugged at my heart a little bit because that's actually... like a love language,
Yes,
cooking.
Yes.
exactly.
And who knows what was cooked for specific birthdays for the children, Thanksgiving. You just never know. It's
You're talking about my life right now.
yeah.
Yeah.
Watches is kind of similar, not as sensitive as the food, but I always tell people it's not your watch. It just happens to be your turn.
Have you ever seen that
I
movie?
love that quote.
Have you ever seen that movie, The Yellow Rolls Royce?
No.
So it's about a Rolls Royce, and it takes it through its eras, and it's about it and its owners. So it shows it in war. It shows it, and it lays out its story. It's about the Rolls Royce story. Yes, yes. It is such a cool movie. Yes.
I love that thought. And you're a part of its history.
Yes.
Wow. Huh. So I just had to kind of laugh in my head a while ago. So when he said ex-wife, you're like, oh, I probably had this watch now.
Yeah.
If it had been his wife, you'd be like, oh, man.
Yeah.
Well, that amazes me that you could just walk up to him, talk about his watch, and now you own it. So...
Oh, come on. You're no different, Annie.
No, I'm just wondering how connected was he to this watch?
Well, in my experience, when you, especially with watches, you when you want to sell it, you actually do a good job of vetting whoever it's going to.
Of course.
Because you've grown sentimentally attached to this particular item. You don't want it to just go to someone that's going to sell it or not take care of it.
Yeah.
I think I did a good job and portrayed an enthusiast.
You knew
the
year.
He knew I would appreciate it knowing what it was.
Well, see, and that's the thing. That's a moment that's so random. You have to see that it was meant to be, right? And I mean, everything about it, just the fact that you were in the same place as he was, the fact that you knew how much about the watch, and the fact that you just walked up to him. I mean, all of that was so random.
Yeah.
It was meant to be.
Were you guys ever passed down a watch? That seems to always be the case with people that I encounter. Yeah. They got into watches maybe through a father figure or a mother figure handing them down a watch that belonged to a parent.
It's funny that you should say that, because my mother had a watch that she wore for years and years. It was that thin, little silver band with a small face on it.
Yeah.
And now I have to think about where that might be. Yeah. That's interesting.
I'm in the same boat. My dad never really wore watches, so I never connected with him in a watch. Yeah. Typically, he had one, but my grandpa, I remember it very vividly. And I'm the same way. It's like, where are they? Where do they end up? And I don't know.
And my dad wore a watch every day too. I mean, I can see him in my head right now putting it on, right? I can see my mom taking her watch off and putting it on the sink before she washes dishes. And so, it's like, I don't know. I think I have a lot of memories, and they just hit me. It's not anything that, like right now, I literally can see them in my head. But, and I don't know how many people can tap into things like that. I mean, I think you can.
You have to be aware of it.
Yes.
And hone it and fine-tune it.
Exactly. Yeah. But I think you can. I think it depends on where you were raised and how you were raised.
Yes.
That allows you to tap into those memories.
Awareness of it.
Yeah.
So what about you? What about your dad's watch, your grandfather's?
Yeah, it started with my dad's Seiko. It was a gold tone Seiko from the 80s. And I've always grown up with just seeing it. And he unfortunately passed away in 2018. And my mother just had this watch. And I said, was this my dad's? And she ended up giving it to me because my brothers weren't interested in watches. Yeah. And I'll be honest, maybe I wasn't interested in watches at the time either, but I wanted something to just connect with my dad more so than my brothers did physically with him. So it was a perfect way to just wear the watch and feel like I was a part of my dad still.
Yeah.
And that made me realize that a watch is a perfect way to immortalize yourself because of this reason. If I hand down that watch to my great-grandchildren and they do the same, that watch will always be tied to someone's name.
Yep.
Oh, it was Antonio, my dad's name.
Wow.
So although great-grandchildren and people from future generations won't know you physically, Jack, they would know it belonged to a Jack.
Yes.
It started with a Jack and it went down. It's the perfect way to immortalize yourself is with a timepiece.
I can't help but think that this gentleman of the oldest watch you have now you acquired from.
Yes.
that had to go through his mind. Well, I don't know if he had kids or whatever, but he probably was in his mind evaluating this whole thing. Well, if he did have a son, let's say, he probably, well, Johnny isn't going to probably want this watch. This dude is solid. He knows it. Took some thought and a lot of, not risk, but for him to give that special thing to you, he had to connect with you very quickly in a special way.
He did. I'm glad you asked this question because the reason he was letting it go was he did offer it to his sons, but they didn't like it because it was on the smaller side. It was a 34 millimeter, which was very, very common back in the day. But nowadays, people like much bigger watches. Bulky, exactly. So he knew that I appreciated smaller watches. And that's what's really interesting about watches, the trends over just like fashion.
Yeah.
You know, you go big or small at certain periods of time. That watch was a lot smaller for today's day and age, and he knew that I was okay with still how small it was.
And you know, not judging his sons, but they passed on something special, you know, because of the size of it, and they didn't connect with it, you know, the memory of it, or what soon would be a memory of it. Yeah, people have changed in size. Back in the day, they made them smaller, you know, more petite.
Yes.
Yeah.
World wars were fought with watches that were way smaller, like 34 millimeter, 30 millimeter.
Yeah.
So when people come to me and say, oh, like for instance, my Tudor, this is a 37 millimeter. When they say that's a lady's size, they just don't understand that this is historically accurate to what a design would have been back in the day.
Right. I had a Cartier, and it was a digital watch, and the thing was always stopping. And I always had to change the battery. Every time I would go back into the store and say, I need a new battery, they'd look at me and they'd like, these batteries last forever. I'm like, oh, sorry. Not on me.
Yeah.
But it was like a bracelet.
Yeah.
It wasn't tight. It just kind of, the face, and then it was loose. It had like a bracelet kind of band.
I see.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It was jewelry-esque and a watch at the same time.
Yeah, kind of like that.
Yeah.
But the band was solid. It wasn't
see.
like a chain band or something.
I see.
That too may have something to do with fashion at that time.
Yes.
When you said jewelry-esque, I was like, oh, that's a great way to describe it. Because I remember my mom's also being a little loose. So it was like a bracelet watch kind of thing, but there was meaning behind that.
Oh, yes.
It was fashionable.
I work in the industry, and I work at Tudor. Oftentimes will I get ladies coming in and they don't want it sized snug like men might want it.
Yeah.
Right.
They want it to be loose because they're so used to wearing bracelets that are jewelry-esque. So it's just preference.
Yeah.
It's preference.
Well, you touched on it, I think, twice here, but sizes of watches, colors, styles, mechanics may have something to do with the materials available at that time.
Correct.
As well. And so I think that's what kind of drives fashion in itself, just necessity.
Oh, yes.
That's interesting.
And there's always, in watches, there's always the idea of scarcity being implemented to maybe drive popularity. And that's unfortunate with watches, but in watches, it's very common for things to be set as limited edition just for the mere fact of people wanting to resell it.
Yeah.
And watches are especially after COVID, by the way. Yeah. Watches are highly collectible and highly sought after as investments now. Not anymore. Before COVID, you could walk into a Rolex boutique and maybe they would even possibly offer a discount. Those days are gone. You have to be put on a wait list for years, possibly.
Wow.
It was due to COVID.
Huh. That changed a whole lot of things in our lives.
Yes.
that period. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
So this one you touched on a little bit that you're wearing now is your favorite?
This is my favorite.
Yeah.
This one means a lot to me because it was my first real purchase, I would say. And I actually have it engraved on the back. It's my initials, so it's really tied to me. This design is based off of a 1954 Tudor Submariner design.
Okay.
And the reason I chose this was it dawned on me that my mother was born in 1954. I was comparing this between another watch, and it dawned on me that my mom was born in 1954 and this design was from 1954, I had to do it.
No brainer.
It was calling me in that specific way.
Yeah.
Oftentimes you'll go after a certain thing and maybe something else calls you.
Yeah.
That's to do with watches too.
Yeah.
Where do you want to take your passion for watches?
Ooh, great question. I love this question. where I want to take my passion for watches is I want to use watches as a slow transition to do podcasts like yourselves and interview people and do collection videos. There's so many stories to be told with watches, every single watch for someone's collection. And it's a great way to get a chance to know someone.
Yeah.
Watches are a great networking tool. If you're someone that is a little bit more isolated and close to yourself, a great way to break the ice is look at their wrist. Oh, is that a so-and-so? Is that a Seiko? That's the perfect way to break the ice is through a watch.
Yeah.
The stories attached to watches can just be across the board. They could be a love story, a mystery, it's not just a item that you pass down or that you buy, because there's, especially if it's been passed down from generations, right? So there's so much there if you can research it and, interview the people and get to the heart of that story. It's fabulous.
Which you are doing, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oftentimes watches are tied to anniversaries, maybe a wedding, often. Graduation is very popular for watches as well. And that's what I say. Well, you never know what story it had before it landed on you. For instance, later this month, I signed myself up for my first marathon. It's in Washington, D.C. After I conquer that, I want to reward myself with a watch so that every time when I look down at that watch, I remember of a specific time when I thought I couldn't do something. And obviously I haven't done it yet. Hopefully I complete it.
You will.
But it's something, it's a memento. It's a memento.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like to reward myself with shoes.
Yeah, and then with your guys' history, just doing hosting and radio networks, it was important to be on time for certain things, right?
Yes, it was important to be
like
on
mentioning
time.
certain maybe commercials or a guest arriving.
Yeah.
So I think time is very, very important.
Yeah. It is. Well, I had in my head when you were saying you run the marathon and then you're going to buy the watch. And every time you look at it, what I said for you in my head was, "Oh, that time I ran a marathon."
Yeah,
Time anyway.
Oh yeah. Hopefully, I get a chance to do it. I get a chance to do it.
Well, you've inspired me to have a whole new view on watches and what to look for.
I want to talk a little bit about your car passion.
Okay.
So Jack sent me a link and I was looking at it. So I love cars. When I met my first husband, he had a 240Z. He lowered it.
A Nissan. Or it was a Datsun at the time.
Yeah. He lowered it. He tinted all the windows and he had running rear view mirrors,
Yeah.
Yeah. And I would drive it.
You did? Okay.
And it was loud.
Was it manual? Was it a stick shift?
It was a stick shift. Yes. I can drive a stick shift. That's how I learned. I got my driver's license with a stick shift. But it was up here because I got my driver's license in a Bronco. My mom had a Bronco, right? And so, but the stick was up here. But yeah. And I would zoom down the 405 in that thing and people would just watch. It looked like a shark.
Yeah.
Look, because it was so low and it had the big spoiler in the front. And oh my gosh, it was like and I just zoomed and people would like.
That's hilarious.
I love that car.
Yeah.
I love
power behind that.
Yeah. But I love vintage cars. I love vintage trucks. There was one I saw on Bristol Street. There is it looks like a small dealership for private owners, right? And in their showroom, they had this cool truck. Oh, you would love it too. Yeah. It was I don't even know. It was green. It was like the teal, green, and black.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good color combo.
It was such a cool color combination. Yeah. Yes, I loved it. But I love in your video how you walk up to people and you tell them what they have.
Oh wow, you did watch my video.
I did. It says, "Oh, so and so and so," and look at this, and oh, I love this, and it's like I'm watching this, and you can tell your passion that you have the passion for that. Yeah. Yes, and you can even tell the surprise on the people. They're like. Probably like when you walked up
to that fellow with the
watch. Yeah. And you know what you're looking at and you know what you're talking about. It's you can tell that you enjoy that.
The door for conversation, but history.
Yeah.
And I would think if you're going to open it that way, the person you're going to talk to is going to feel so comfortable opening up the rest of it.
Yes.
So it's just it takes off from there.
And by the way, I approach people first for permission to record. They might seem natural, but I would hate for someone to just come up to me and start recording already.
I kind of figured
very
that.
respectful.
Yeah, no, I kind of figured that. Yeah, when I was watching it, because we're behind the cameras, so we know, right? So, but yeah, I like just the fact that they talk to you, though. Have you ever had anyone say no?
Yes, multiple times, and I just have to bite the bullet and of course respect, and I just go on my way. And man, I lost out on that. It would have been a good video.
Video them walking, driving away.
I first started doing car content after high school, I would say, and I would do car reviews. I wasn't the best in front of the camera at the time, and I was actually going to college for communications, which I didn't do the best, like I said. Yeah. Through forcing myself to do videos and hit and record and forcing myself to talk and mess up and just really work it out, it made me be a lot better in front of talking to people and being able to convey messages. So being in front of the camera really taught me something that I unfortunately could not learn in school.
Yeah.
I soon realized that, man, this is a lot of work to just keep doing videos and talking in front of the camera. I'm going to make my life easy and have the person in front of me do the talking. Hence why I ask the questions. Yeah. The person in front of the camera talks about their car. Yeah. And it worked out. It worked out. Yeah. And I got lucky with many opportunities and met a lot of people through cars and gotten a chance to drive a lot of cars. Yeah. So it was essential.
I'm surprised that they turn you down, because obviously they have something that's special, right? And there's, that's an effort. That's a financial effort, right? Because those things are not cheap. And so I'm surprised they don't want to talk about it more and share that, right?
Funny enough, it was a lady that turned me down for a 240Z as well.
Oh, I'd be all about it.
It was in mint condition.
I'd be like, yeah, jump in. I'll take you down. Please let me take you for a ride.
Yes. So people are slowly getting into content creation these days. I don't care who you are. You have to eventually get into content creation. Yeah. Especially with people with those Meta glasses, those video recording.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
What fascinates me is I started social media at the time where not everyone was into it. So I got a good traction going. And now everyone is a content creator. Have you realized that there's no such thing as a celebrity anymore? Everyone is famous in their own certain way. Right. There's no more like, oh, the Beatles just walked in. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Now anyone can have a following. And that's something that I have to grasp.
Of all ages.
Of all ages. Yeah.
Like, yes. There's these little toddler chefs doing their thing. They can barely enunciate the words, right? Yeah. But they're like in front their camera and they're slopping things in a bowl. Yes. And,
It makes me feel like I'm falling behind somehow. Do you guys feel the same way with, just being in front of the camera and doing content creation?
I try not to let it get in my head, because it is a lot of time. I do, like, I just started looking at TikTok. Yeah. And thinking, gosh, and then I'm like in there and I'm navigating and I'm like, do I want to do this? Do I want to be consumed with this? And so it's hard, because it is a lot of time involved, a huge commitment. Yeah. And when you have other things in your life, it's sometimes hard. Yes. Well, what was it? Was it Andy Warhol who said everyone at some point will have 15 seconds of fame?
Right.
Oh, he said that?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Seconds of fame.
Yeah.
And now you look at that, I think that's the time length of a reel on Instagram. And I don't know if that's on purpose or not, but he called it, We're all in our own way can be famous if we wanted to, in our own right.
In our own head.
I was going to say something in our head.
Yes.
Yeah. So if people want to find out more about you, where should they go? What should they do to know that about you?
Well, if you love cars, a great place to start is my Instagram. It's Mark_Flores 18. It's my name. 18 stands for when I started my social media at 18 years old.
Oh, wow.
If you like watches, it's cleverly called the Minute Mark.
The Minute Mark.
Took me a whole day to come up with that. And you saw my videos and I appreciate you for that. I want to replicate that same formula of going up to people and getting their story on their watches that they're wearing on their wrist with that watch page. So it worked with cars. I think it could work with watches. Yeah. But what I've found out with watches is people are a little bit more kept to themselves and more personal, and they don't want to share what watch they're wearing, especially if it's more on the expensive side.
It's really interesting that you say that because cars are flashy.
Yes.
Especially
And
the
people
ones
want to
you
show
want.
off
And
their
they
cars.
they're zooming around and their wings are coming up
Out
and
there.
and they're
The exhaust
out
is
there.
popping.
Right. And they rev it as they're coming in.
Yeah.
We were at Phil's Coffee. I'm going to tell you a story. We were at Phil's Coffee, my friend and I, and no, we were having lunch at the restaurant next to it. And this guy comes in and my friend goes, oh, he just got that. Because he didn't know, he kept popping it. He kept, it was like a,
Oh, I see.
like one of those McLaren.
Okay, a McLaren,
Yeah. And so, and he was this big guy and he finally gets it into a space, but he was like he was performing.
Showing off.
Yeah, he was definitely
He wanted to make sure
performing.
everyone knew he was parking.
Yeah.
And even the table of ladies next to us, they didn't have very many nice things to say about it. But we were just laughing because, he wanted everyone to know this is my car.
Yeah.
That's right, ladies. Eat it up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think so. And then talking about watches, that's more intimate.
Yes.
Right? It's on their person first off, right? And so, and if it is something that is dear to their heart, they're probably going to want to keep that close to them, right? And not
more personal.
Yeah, not share it so much. So what your passions are like, they're like split, right? You have one that's very intimate and one that's very showy.
Yes.
And it would be interesting because like what you said, you see someone wearing this really cool watch and they're driving this really cool car. So how do you bring that together, right? How do you find that?
That's what I'm trying to figure out as well.
Right?
From cars, I get a lot of no's still. So I've just learned that I'm just it's a numbers game. Just keep asking more people and some people will be willing to show off. But we live in a time where watches are also thought of as, I would say, unfortunately, people are looking for watches to steal, and theft is at an all-time high for watches.
Yeah, I was thinking that when we were talking, and so to give that information, people can find you.
They think that I'm up to something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it's my job in those first 5 seconds to make them feel as comfortable as possible.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm a watch guy as well, blah, blah, blah. I love what you're wearing. Do you mind if, and they shut me off, and I understand because of the time we live in. It's very suspicious for people to even ask about watches.
Right.
I would say even it goes beyond you as well. I mean, that's a definite thought, but with social media these days, well, where is this going to be put on? Some people, you can get found very easily. And next thing you know, someone's at your house stealing your watch collection, Sad, but that's kind of, but then, the flip side of that, you've got people that want to show you their entire collection and share it.
Yes.
And the story, and you're an old soul for sure.
Yeah.
So once that opens up the door, people come in.
It would make a really good book, especially if you could take pictures and, tell that person's story, stories of time, right? It would make a really, you can use that.
Oh yeah, I'm already thinking.
Oh, there's been so many puns in this. I love a good pun. I've had to hold back. I really have.
With car content, that's where my main focus was, and I grew it to whatever I thought was possible. It exceeded all my expectations, and I would say I did it very well.
Mm-hmm.
For anyone doing social media, don't think of it as it's going to give you a good payout and you can retire or anything. That's how I looked at it initially. And I was getting all these numbers and viral numbers and followers, and I'm like, I'm still the same person. Nothing's going on. Like, why am I not famous? Why am I not in a mansion right now?
Mm-hmm.
What I explain to people looking to get into social media now is don't look at it that way. Look at it as a way that it opens doors. You're not going to be paid what you want. It's going to open a lot more opportunities for you.
Yeah.
For instance, when I came to you that one initial day and I told you what I did and I showed you, it gave you peace of mind that this guy is the real deal. He is really doing the videos. It's not just some random stranger. When I show people my Instagram, it's almost like my resume or portfolio.
Calling card.
It is.
Yeah.
It can explain stuff that I cannot explain in person.
Right.
It gives them peace of mind that I'm not wasting their time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
No, it is a calling card, and that very well could be the new business card, right?
Oh, it already is.
Right,
Absolutely.
right? Yeah.
Well, folks, we could go on and on and on. And you're welcome back.
Oh, yes.
Anytime.
I'm sure you'll see me next week for another video on my end too.
So I appreciate you, Mark, and your time. I know it's valuable. And
Jack and Annie, thank you so much.
Of course.
It was actually very pleasurable.
Good. Annie?
Yeah.
I think I'm going to keep you.
Oh.
What do you say?
Yeah.
Well, the best is yet to come.
Yeah.
And, I'm excited. You kicked off our year, and I'm going to go and be thinking about this for
You
sure.
as well. You as well.
Yeah, good.
You did the same for me.
Good. All right, folks. We'll see you on the next episode.
Thank you so much, Jack. I've had a wonderful time with you.
Come on back.
Memories. Memories. Okay. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for having me.